On today's episode, we're doing a Q&A. Let's get to it. We've got a bunch of questions here. So the first question is, why did you decide to go to real estate? In 2017, I got my license. I wanted to do something that will give me a lot of new connections, do sales and meet new people. And just real estate was something that, I decided to try because I was also interested in buying homes that what I could rent and flip. And that's something that I just let me get the license and try to sell and see and learn how the industry inside so I can be a better investor. And then as soon as I started selling, I wanted to sell more. And then I put my goals even higher and higher. And every time I would sell a house, I would get motivated and I want to sell more. And now I have big goals, and then this year we're going to sell 130 homes. And we started our own office. So what did you do before? I was in trucking business. We got a little logistics company, a couple of trucks, moving freight back and forth to the East Coast. And I felt something was missing. I was missing a personal touch. I was missing new connections, new people, new handshakes. I'm very social. I like to meet new people. That was something that real estate gave me. I remember when first year in real estate, it was like my first month in real estate, and one guy asked me, how much did you make money? How much did you make in your first career? I'm like, this much. It's like, you came to real estate? And I'm like, whoa, am I in the wrong industry? And after that, I was like, maybe this real estate is not gonna give you a lot of money, but truth be told, there's a lot of money to be making in real estate. If you're hungry and if you're ethical, if you have good motivation and you want to get good in real estate, you can make a lot of money in this industry. You just have to think big and don't limit yourself. And I remember like I had a goal of 100 deals. I was like, if I could only do 100 deals a year, that would be crazy. We're going to do over 100 deals this year. So what is your best source of clients? Best source of clients come from my network, my sphere of influence, my friends, and a lot of it is social media. Facebook, Instagram helps. Now we're doing a YouTube. That's why we're doing this content, because that's what gives me, more visibility, gives me more contacts but referrals from people that know me, and another one is referrals from people that already bought or sold with me. That's another big one. Now it's starting to grow even more because then I'm 5 years in the business, and now people that bought from me 5 years ago are not looking to sell. So that's pretty cool. Now it's just referrals off referrals now. That's what's working. So and also I still do cold calls, mails, do a radio advertisements too. So all a combination of everything is just bringing client. But the best one is, of course, for every realtor who starts, it's the people that your friends, your family, and friends of friends. So the number one job is to let everybody know that you're in real estate. When did you sell your first house? The first listing I got was right away. It was like second month in the business. Nice house, overpriced, $100,000 more than it should have been priced at. But I didn't sell it the first. I still had that listing there in my pipeline, but I couldn't sell it for like a year. But the first house I sold was the condo that I bought for myself. 7 months later, I got my license. 7 months later, I closed on the first condo that I bought for myself, and then my friend bought 2 months later, and then I started rolling. First year, I closed 2 homes, and then it was 16 homes, and then it was 24. I have it broken down somewhere here, but it was just doubling every year. I would double. How did you stay motivated? That's a good one. It's hard. In the beginning, it's super tough because then nobody knows you. It takes money and takes time for people to get familiar with you and trust you. So motivation is something you can't watch videos. You can't, read books about it. It's just something you have to trust that the process works, because even though you get the client and you start working with the client, all the bad stuff that could happen will happen to you. The client says he's not interested anymore. He goes with somebody else to buy or sell. It just everything started happening. You just have to. What I did, I picked someone who was successful, and I say if they're successful, it has to work out. I have to stick to it, and I gotta keep doing it. And if I keep doing it, it's gonna work out for me too. You kind of like create something that you create something that's not existing, and then you just believe it, and you keep doing it. And I remember I was watching this $1 Million Listing show with these stars that are selling houses, and I remember their story was the same. I only did rentals, and now I'm doing big stuff. So, everybody's human. If you have a goal, you just go for it and you try. And if you fail, you keep trying. And if you really want it, you're gonna get it for sure. That's 100% truth. If you really want something, you're gonna get it. You just have to keep doing it. And motivation is, it might be very temporary sometimes. You just have to be disciplined. Discipline is very important. You can't be waking up at 10 a.m. and then going and doing stuff, and then 12 p.m. you want to, let's do some real estate for an hour. Not like that. Every 8 o'clock I would go to the office. I would be first one in. No joke. I'm not just saying that to say. I would always be first one in, and I would stay long. I would always come up with stuff to do. Like if there's nothing to do, I would always go to the neighborhood, pull some houses that had sold 20 years ago, would mail them. Something like, you owned it for so long, you got so much equity, let's sell it. I would do stuff like that. Just keep doing things. And then sometimes I remember I met one of my best clients I met was on the Facebook. I would run this campaign of houses that are ranch style homes for $300,000 in Park Ridge. And this guy clicked on it, and I thought he's interested. I called him. He said, I'm an investor. I'm buying big stuff. So I sold him a couple homes, couple condos. We did a lot of deals together. And then there was somebody who came from Facebook lead, and that was the only client I got. And we're now friends. We know each other. We call each other once in a while. And if you would say the Facebook advertisements that I did would work, yes and no. I only got one client, but that was a good one. So just keep doing stuff, and something sticks. And sometimes you go show a house, and the neighbor says, "Hey, who are you? Give me a business card," and they hire you. So how much money did you make in the first year? $7,000. That was my first year. How much do you spend on marketing yourself? I should know it better, but we spend a lot. If I start adding everything up, probably close to 100,000, probably. Just on marketing. What was the hardest situation in your career? I remember the first one was when I had a listing that I was cold calling a lot. I finally got it. There was a lot of agents. I competed with a lot of agents to get it. I finally got it. It took me 3 months to put it under contract. I was trying to put it under contract, and then the seller said I decided not to sell. And that was the beginning of my career. Now I don't, it doesn't hit me so bad. I feel okay after that, but doesn't happen very often. Like I said, as soon as you start doing something, all the bad things start happening to you for some reason. That's how it works. I don't know. But he said, I'm not interested in selling. I'm going to keep it. So that was like, oh my God, man, this real estate is not going to work. It's always like that. Probably it's super tough. Everything's not really working out for me. So that was kind of like a tough one. Okay. Are we about to crash? 2021. Are we crashing? No, probably not. Prices have gone up. Feels like we're in a bubble, but it's probably like a boom, more like a boom. It's been going on too fast. We're not used to it. A lot of money on a lot of money in the market, and low interest rates. The whole thing is about interest rates. The cheaper it is, the more people like it. Rents going up. It's more expensive to rent than to own. A lot of people are like, let me buy it instead of renting. And the other people are like, let me buy and rent it out because there's a lot of renters. So it's just that's the name of the game. It's going to keep going. The 2022 appreciation is going to be much less than 2021. 2022 will be around 3 to 4%. 21 is around 12%, which is too high. Spring was pretty busy. Now it cooled off a little bit. Now we're at it's not going to be as busy, and prices not going to go as high as they were in the spring. So we're not crashing for sure. Maybe there's going to be a dip, maybe next year, maybe in 2023, we'll see. But definitely, no signs of crash. But who knows? How did the pandemic affect the market in Chicago? Okay, it's different. Chicago and suburbs are different. Chicago, we got a hit. There's a lot of apartment buildings that need to be rented. They're not rented. A lot of incentives for rentals. Like if you wanted to rent in a city, they give you 2 months free. You know, they need to fill these places. The offices, something that is vacant in the city too. Now it's starting to come back, but it got hit. The prices dropped in the city. Now it's coming back a little bit, but again, if you compare it to the suburbs, that's where all the market is going. All the demand, all the builders, everything is going to the suburbs. The further it is, the more activity it gets. The land is cheaper, construction is the same. A lot of people are looking for backyards and offices in the house. So that's the trend we're seeing right now. It's probably going to be the same for a long time. Looks like the cost of material, cost of laborers keep going up. They have to find cheap land. Cheap land is only further. But the city is not done. You know, it's coming back. We're gonna see, you know, prices also going up in the city. And for now, there's a lot of buildings that still need to be filled with renters, but it's coming back. A lot of people want restaurants, all the bars, all the activities. It's, you know, it has to be active. There's no way like the city's gonna die. Does it cost me anything to have a realtor represent me? How does it work? It depends on which side. If you're the buyer, it's gonna cost you anything. You get everything we know for free. The seller pays. Actually, I feel like it's should change probably, because sometimes you may be working a long time with buyers. Let's say if you're a buyer's agent, you may be working for a long time, and then the listing agent offers like a half of the commission or something, and the buyer's not paying. So probably, I don't know. It's been like that forever, but probably should change. Probably should buyers pay their own realtor. I think that's more fair because of the time that the realtor spends, but it doesn't really matter, you know, who pays. But right now, sellers pay both sides, and sellers pay roughly 5%. Sometimes it's 4.5%, sometimes it's 6%, depending on the realtor who they hire. Their realtor really sets the commission and gives commission to the agent who brings the buyer. And I think that some states even have that negotiable. How do we know how much the buyer's agent makes off the transaction? Is that the listing agent has it on the listing notes. He says this is how much we're gonna pay the buyer's agent, and sometimes it's 2.5, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 1, and it's in some states they already have it as N negotiable. So you put it in your offer and you negotiate. If you're the buyer in today's market, then you get all the knowledge for free. That's pretty cool. What's your marketing plan? Okay. For the marketing plan for a listing, let's say we're selling your house. Listing plan is, first we have to have all the marketing top notch. We're doing professional photography, 3D plans, 3D tour, and the video walkthrough, like some of that we did with our listings in 2021. Help us a lot. They rank. If you Google the address, the video comes up. It gets a lot of views. Our clients love it, and we can share it. We got a content, and we get a lot of people calling based on the videos. I even have my friends call about the house that we just listed. They wanted to buy because of the video. Video is really helping us, everything else that's traditional we also do, like brochures, sign, postcards that we putting a house on the market to the neighbors. Maybe neighbors know somebody from their family who is interested in living next to them. And of course, the open house, it depends. 2021 market has been pretty active and it's easy to sell homes. So it's not, we don't really have to do too much, and we even discount our commission because of that. But if the market slows down, then we got to do all that. But the 90% of work is price. The other stuff is marketing. So we have to be on top of all new technologies, and that's what we're doing. We are, using all the tools we can to make sure we beat out other competitors that are on the market too. Oh, do you have recommendations for how I could increase the selling price? Well, of course. Well, depends on your scenario. It depends on your situation. Different stuff that we can do. If we're talking about like repairs, then the most important stuff is decluttering, new paint, cleaning. Those are the best investments and the best returns. Now, if we're talking about kitchen and bathrooms, sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Depending on the market, that's case by case basis. But decluttering and cleaning is always the best. If you can do the paint, that's good. If you're selling the property where you have tenants, if that's a single family residence, house, townhouse, or condo, it's best to sell with no tenants, vacant, because then you get exposure to not only investors, but also retail buyers who want to move in. A lot of these buyers are putting low money down. If it's rented, it won't appraise. And also if it's rented, you can't have buyers come in anytime they want because it's not convenient for the tenant that lives in the property. So that reduces your chances of selling for top dollar. Things like that are important when you're considering selling your home. What are the things what other scenarios we might have? Okay, and then if we're talking just let's say the house is ready and we're putting it on the market, it's always good to put it either at the market value or a little bit below. Not everybody feels comfortable putting a little bit below. A lot of buyers want to put a little bit higher price. That's okay, but it's always good to put a little bit right on the money or be very close to where it should sell. That way you get more buyers. And some of them act on emotions and they feel like they're gonna lose it. That's the feeling you want to get from the buyer, and that's how you sell it for more. You don't want to sell it for too much more than it's worth because then you have appraisal issues. But getting the top dollar and the most is squeezing the most money from your house. That's how you do it. You get couple buyers, but then how do you get couple buyers? You put the right price. Also, you put the nice product. You have to prepare the product and you have to put the right price and present it with nice pictures, nice video, nice brochures, and everything else. So it's all, there's a lot of things that go into selling for the top dollar, but that's how you do it. Explain what is a CMA. CMA, competitive market analysis. When we sell a house, we're doing the research, how much this house should be worth based on square footage, amount of bedrooms, bathrooms, location, type of home, based on comparable sales. We compare based on upgrades, more or less, depending on what the neighbor sold for, and that's how we come up with a range for the price, depending on what the market time, depending on how many homes are the same like yours already on the market. It's gonna, sometimes the same house might sell for different price in different market. The reason is how many homes like that are also competing against you. So if there's a lot of homes, you gotta reduce because you have something to beat them. If there's nothing, you're the only one. You may sell for much more. So that's why this 2021 is so good to sell. There's nothing for buyers. Like they're looking at this MLS and they're waiting for a new house to pop. Like, oh, let's go. So there's nothing to. So that's what the CMA is. It's a comparable market analysis. We try to evaluate what's going on in the market, and depends on that, we give you a listing agent gives a seller a range for the price, and then the seller decides how much to list the property for. How long does it take typically to close on a house in this market in 2021? Typically 30 to 45 days. Some lenders can do it faster, but the lenders are busy, so you got to wait for them to do all the work that they need to do, and it takes about 30 to 45 days. Some loans are a little longer. FHA 203Ks, renovation loans take 60 to 90 days. That's a little longer, but typical answer is 30 to 45 days. Okay, I guess that's all the questions we had for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.